I was 20 years old. I was at my lowest point. And then one day, and I remember the exact day, March 27th, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop. My mother owned a beauty shop up in Mount Vernon. And there was this older woman who was considered one of the elders in the town. And I didn't know her personally, but I was looking in the mirror, and every time I looked at the mirror, I could see her behind me, and she was staring at me. She just kept looking at me. Every time I looked at her, she kept giving me these strange looks. So she finally took the dryer off her head and she said something I'll never forget. She said, "Young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy." She said, "You are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people." Later that summer, while working as a counselor at a YMCA camp in Connecticut, we put on a talent show for the campers. And after the show, another counselor came up to me and asked, "Have you ever thought about acting? You're good at that." So when I got back to Fordham that fall, I got in and I changed my major once again for the last time. And in the years that followed, just as that woman prophesied, I have traveled the world and I have spoken to millions of people through my movies. Millions who, up till this day, I couldn't see while I was talking to them, and they couldn't see me. They could only see the movie. They couldn't see the real me. Let me conclude with this one final point, and actually the president kind of brought it up. It has to do with the movie Philadelphia. Many years ago, I did this movie called Philadelphia. We filmed some of the scenes right here on campus. In a way, if you watch the movie, you'll see everything I'm talking about today. You'll see what I mean about taking risk or being willing to fail. Because taking risk is not just about going for a job. It's also about knowing what you know and what you don't know. It's about being open to people and to ideas. In the course of the film, the character I play begins to take small steps, small risks. He very, very, very slowly begins to overcome his fears. And I feel ultimately his heart becomes flooded with love. And I can't think of a better message as we send you off today. To not only take risks, but to be open to life, to accept new views, and to be open to new opinions, to be willing to speak at a commencement at one of the best universities in the country, even though you're scared stiff. While it may be frightening, it will also be rewarding, because the chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have, that's what's going to define you. When you leave the friendly confines of Philly, never be discouraged, never hold back, give everything you got. And when you fall throughout life, and maybe even tonight after a few many glasses of champagne, remember this: fall forward.
I mean, I've always been very intentional. I will say this: don't give a damn about the awareness. Don't get objective. Don't hop out of yourself and say, how am I being received? Early. The best work I've done in my career is when my head's down in the process and it is completely a subjective experience, and I don't give a damn what you think about it or what anyone else thinks about it. And I sure as hell don't give a damn about the result, because I'm in it. And I'm so in it that the last day of shooting, they yell wrap, and I go, okay, I'll see y'all tomorrow morning for tomorrow's work. And they go, no, it's over. Like, we finished film shooting wrap. There is no tomorrow. Then I'm like, become objective for the first time. So in many ways, and I think especially today, not just in acting a career, but in all of our careers, athletes, everything is with so much room to be objective. What are we on our phone? There's a jumbotron, immediate response when we put something out. We may be becoming too objective or measuring too aware, giving too much credence to awareness of, oh, how am I perceived? You know, kids these days, it's what they put out, how it's received. If it's got enough thumbs up, they have a good day. If it's got enough thumbs down, they have a bad day. So our being and our attitude and how we feel about ourselves is more reliant. We're letting it be more reliant on what other people think about us today than ever before.
People come up to me all the time and then they say, Dr. Pani, I'm so stressed out. I've got so much happening in my life. Do you think if I meditate for 5 minutes in the morning, it'll help my whole day? I'm going like, well, What are you doing the remaining 23 hours and 55 minutes? That's what I want to know. Because if you try to meditate for 5 minutes in the morning and the rest of the day you just live a chaotic life, that's not, it's a good start, but it's not really helping you. It's like eating a carrot in the morning and then eating hamburgers and fries all day and hoping to have a healthy diet. You have to understand that your whole day, your lifestyle is what's going to support your meditation practice at the start. Then your meditation practice grows, and then it turns around and supports your lifestyle.
Right.
But not the other way around. You don't create a meditation practice to support your lifestyle. You create a lifestyle first, meditation second. Then meditation affects the lifestyle, not the other way around. And everybody in the West has got it backwards.
And what should we be doing with our lifestyle to make it to where it's maybe more meditation friendly?
Well, a couple of things. I would say one is simplify your life. Everybody's so busy. Everybody's got a lot of things to do. We don't actually have a lot of things to do. Most people don't have clear priorities in life. For me, my goal is to simplify my life, simplify the number of people in my life, and simplify the number of things in my life. We only have a finite amount of energy each day. But every year, we have more people in our lives. Is that a fair statement? More Facebook friends, more people you're connected with.
Yeah.
But your energy stays the same. So that's not a proportionate growth. If your energy is increasing every year proportionately with the number of things and people in your life, then we don't have to talk about this. But your energy level is the same. But the amount of people and things in your life are growing almost exponentially. That doesn't work. So for me, it's always about simplifying first the people and things into your life, into who and what's most important, taking that finite energy that you have each day and focusing. Second step is learning how to focus and concentrate that finite amount of energy into the people and things that truly matter. Now you start to create a lifestyle that you actually love because you're invested into people and things that matter. And the byproduct of that is happiness.
And you said happiness is not a goal. Is that correct?
Yes, happiness is not a goal. And if you ask most people, what do you want in life? They say, I want to be happy. I always say you should never pursue happiness. Don't pursue happiness. Pursue a lifestyle where the byproduct of that lifestyle is happiness. So happiness comes as a byproduct. I spend time with the people that I love. What is my byproduct? I'm happy. I spend time with people I don't like. I'm not happy. So don't pursue happiness. Pursue a lifestyle that gives happiness. But in order to pursue that lifestyle, you need to be clear what you want in life. What's your purpose in life? And people don't know this because they don't spend any time with themselves.
Oftentimes, when you make a decision to do the right thing, immediately you're faced with doubt. Was that the right thing? Was that the right decision? I don't know. Was that the right thing? You always know it's the right thing, when in the end, there is peace. You are rewarded by peace in knowing that you did the right thing. The most important thing I have come to know in doing the right thing and making the right choices is understanding what we talked about yesterday. All of you leaving here have the potential for enormous success. There's a price that comes with that. People don't always like you, and they're not always happy for you. And if you surround yourself with people who are not accustomed to your success, they become fearful. They become scared because you are reflecting back something to them that they don't recognize. People who want the best for you want you to be your best. So my greatest advice to you is to surround yourself with people who are going to fill your cup until your cup runneth over. And what I know for sure is that the biggest choices begin and end with you, your internal big questions. Who do I want to be in the world? My relationship to source energy, to all that is God. I'm not talking about what you believe in God. I'm talking about your experience of that which is all life, which is divine and universal. I'm talking about the big deal. Being connected and aligned with that. When you are tuned in and charged into that, whenever you feel empty, You go inside yourself and you connect to the source, and you know that all things are possible. And to choose to do the right thing in service and significance.
I believe our lives are controlled by one force: decisions. I certainly believe in force greater than myself. Call it God, if you will, grace, whatever you want to call it, the universe. But I also believe it gives us choices. And the decisions we make control us much more than the conditions we meet. It's not the conditions, it's your decisions. Decisions of what to believe, decisions of what to do, decisions of what to give. I say to people, think about, look back 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, and think of a decision you made. That if you would have made a different decision, you'd have a totally different life today. Better or worse, I don't know, but totally different.
Right.
In your case, if you'd stayed doing what you're doing, you'd have a lot of money and still been miserable, right? And probably your great lady over here would be feeling miserable because she loves you so much, and she'd be feeling your misery, wanting to figure out what to do. But you made that decision. The most important decision you can make above any on the face of the earth is deciding that no matter what happens in your life, no matter what happens, you're going to live in a beautiful state. What the hell does that mean? It means that you're not going to suffer. It means a beautiful state is that you're going to be happy, but that's only one. Or you're going to feel creative, or you're going to be passionate, or you're going to be in awe of something, or you're going to feel love. Any state that's a beautiful state is really the core essence of who you are without fear, right? All of our suffering as human beings, and I deal with people all the time, and without naming any names, people that have everything, by your point of view, most people's point of view, they have the fame and they have the love and millions of people love them and they have great economics, financial freedom, and they have homes and they have the fashion, they have everything, they're the shit. I can't tell you how many of them are miserable.
Right.
The majority are miserable. I'm not bullshitting. I'm the one who gets the phone call from the vast majority. When I say miserable, they're so used to it, some of them don't even realize they're miserable,
right,
but most do. They get in a place where it's like, how do I keep this up? How do I keep outdoing myself? How do I, I built these 32 companies, how to keep all 32 going and make them all grow every single year. And that's not how life is, right?
Right.
And then they worry about what will people think? What will they do? So the decision to say, I am not going to suffer, that if suffering arises, pain's one thing, suffering's another. And the way you suffer is you focus on yourself.
Right.
Suffering comes when we obsess about ourselves, what we're getting or not getting, what we should have done, what others should have done for us. It's the me game.
Right.
You, my dear friend, and I say this with no blowing smoke, your primary core is a giver, which is why you're prospering. You're not the me. You're like, how do I give more, do more, share more, create more? How do we do a better job for our clients? How do we do a better job for our internal customers who work with us, our partners? Your entire life is that. That's why you're prospering and you're not feeling suffering. But when you do suffer, it'll be because you're worrying about something in the future. How's this going to happen? Will this come together? Suffering can be worry, it can be anger, it can be frustration. It's anything that takes you out of a beautiful state. And here's what people don't get. You can end suffering by stop focusing on yourself and focus on something you want to serve greater than yourself. Your children, your wife, your mission, your life.
This is the question. This is when the universe comes down and puts her hands on your shoulders and pulls you close and whispers in your ear, I'm not fucking around. You're halfway to dead. The armor is keeping you from growing into the gifts I've given you. That is not without penalty. Time is up. So this is what you see happen to people in midlife. And it's not a crisis. It's a slow, brutal unraveling. And this is where everything that we thought protected us keeps us from being the partners, the parents, the professionals, the people that we want to be. And I've only seen, this is a fork in the road. I've only seen 2 responses to this visit from the universe. Well, there was my response, which I was like, screw you, bring it. Like, you think you can best me? And then it was just one nightmare situation after another until, you're not going to win that fight. I think if you say, you know what, I'm not going to do it, then you've got to double down. These are the people that walk through the world, double down on their own shit, in denial, cheek squeezed as they walk, and cause so much pain in the world. Because it is so much easier to offload pain than to feel pain. And so you really have a choice in midlife. I'm not saying just pull off all the armor and streak through Austin, because I think you can replace the armor with something. I think it's curiosity is what you replace it. You just become very curious about yourself, about the world. Why did I react that way? Curiosity is really the superpower for the second half of our lives, because it keeps us learning, it keeps us asking questions, and it increases our self-awareness.
Once you do find your frequency on something, go forward if you're a non-tyrant and don't ask permission. And that's the not giving a damn part. I've found that the world will actually acquiesce and go, yeah, I'll give you a green light on that if you actually go forward and mean it, you're going to do it by hook or by crook and not ask permission. So I move out to Hollywood. I did Dazed Confused the summer of 92. I go back and graduate from University of Texas at Austin in 93. And then I drive out with my U-Haul and $2,000 to sleep on the couch of that guy that I met in the bar 2 years prior, who cast me my first job. $2,000. I know I'm sleeping on his couch, not paying rent, but $2,000 is going to go pretty quickly. And I'm starting to, after about 2 weeks, I'm going, dime, and I need to, could you give me a meeting with an agent? Man, I need to get an agent. I need to get a job. And he snaps at me, cusses me out, and tells me, look, this town smells needy. You're done. What you need to do is get the hell out of here and go do something with your buds and forget about Hollywood and what you think you need. Anyway, I did. I took off with my 2 buddies with what little money we had, and we motorcycled through Europe for 6 weeks. Well, by the time I got back, I forgot all about needing an agent or, I need to get a part. I just had great life experience for 6 weeks. And so he then brings it up about a week after I'm back and goes, you're ready. I go, for what? And he goes, tomorrow morning we got the meeting with the agent. I'm like, oh, great. He was right on the money, because I was able to go into that meeting and be myself, be involved in that meeting, and not be so impressed that I got that meeting. Less impressed, more involved. It's a trick, but it works in our life. I mean, sometimes if something is number one on our list, and we've got to have it. Oh, we need it. A lot of times we don't get it. Think about it, whether it's that girl or whether it's that friend or whatever it is, man, if you make them the number one thing in your life, they're going to go like, well, what else did you have going before you came to me? You know what I mean? I want somebody who had their shit together before they came to me a little bit. If I'm your everything, then I'm probably, a lot of times people will go, or situations will say, no, we don't want you because you need us too bad. Something about taking that trip to Germany got that need out of my mind, and the idea of getting a job or an agent in Hollywood became subliminally number 2 on my list of priorities. Just by sheer that I'd kind of forgotten about it and wasn't thinking about it all the time. Well, that allowed me to relax, be involved in a meeting with an agent where they accepted me, to then go out on auditions and actually get them, because I was like, I really want this, but I don't need it. And there's a big difference. In Hollywood and fame, there's a game in Hollywood. It is an affair. It's not necessarily a marriage. And there's a game to play, and it's better to want it and not need it.